Bonjour. And welcome back to Picture This, the best picture movie review show hosted by the person who's seen a few of them now, just like some. We are 10 weeks deep, I think, and I cannot breathe. My name is Alex. With me is Jack. Okay. Matthew. Adelaide.
This is so low energy. What's going on?
Coho.
Can we watch good movies again?
All right, the gang's all here. We watched a movie, and it was fine, right? It was fine. Probably. I mean, okay. Look,
It's fine.
it was fine. We're gonna have. Is this gonna be the first week where we like disagree heavily?
I think
Or do
so.
we all think?
I don't know.
Yeah, we watched the life of Emile Zola. Some of us together, some of us apart, because scheduling is a nightmare. And I can honestly say that the cliques have started to form, and some of us definitely love each other more than others. So that being said, we go now to. I mean, this is an awkward position to put him in. But all of our I've just said that, and now we have to go to all of our managers. With the plot boy segment, this is gonna be a weird one. Probably because he's googling the plot right now. I can tell.
No, I don't know. I'm not. I have it right here. I've had it up since it was time to
We go now to K-Dog, which I'm now.
go. Oh my god, I haven't been called that since middle school. I hate that. Wow, that was. I feel like you just like rummaged through like my like old high school, middle school, like social media profiles and like interrogated friends I had in elementary school, and you're like, what did you guys used to call? Bitch boy, yeah, we do that too. I'll be honest with you, nothing really happens for like the first 40 minutes of this movie. It fucking sucks. All right, this fucking painters and writers are being highfalutin jackasses in Paris. And this fucking guy named Emile doesn't like the government and wrote a novel about it called Nana. And then they were like, hey, don't do that shit. And he's like, fuck you, I'm going to do that shit. And guess what? I'm going to do that shit. And they were like, all right, censorship. Yeah. So he writes The Downfall. Which is like, hey, this war that's going on in the 1870s, fucked up, and y'all fucked up doing it. And they're like, all right, time to fucking kill this bitch. But they don't. Instead, they go ahead and take Dreyfus guy, and say he's a traitor because they intercepted a letter saying there's a spy, and they throw him on the Devil's Island, which is what I imagine all of us call this show, in our personal time, which is, we'll save this a little bit. We'll save this a little bit longer. Yes. My face watching, not this movie. Yes, this movie. What are you doing right now? Why are you taking pictures of me again? All right. Well, he wrote a letter, and the letter he wrote was called J'accuse, which we all know as being the classic line from the 2019 film Booksmart. And then Zola gets charged with libel for being like, hey, these guys are fucked up and doing bad shit. And they're like, we're going to introduce evidence about the Dreyfus affair. And they're like, you can't do that. And so they find him guilty and put him in prison for a year and charge him $3,000. And then he runs to London and campaigns from Dreyfus for there. And then they decide to, like, they're pressured, and Dreyfus is like, he's going to be innocent. And then those who covered it up kill themselves, or they're fired. And then the big bad runs away. And then Zola dies from carbon monoxide poisoning, because that's not lame at all.
Now I know what you're thinking. What's the Dreyfus affair? Why were these books so successful? How many did he
This
write?
this movie addresses none of that.
Everything is done very vaguely. There are like stacks of books that may all be the same book or different books, depending on what you what you believe in life. Ships and what they're made of. Are they the same book? It doesn't matter. The point is like this movie was fine. It's like a performance movie though. And by performance,
I can tell you why this one. I'll tell you exactly why this one. This came out in what, 1937, 38?
Sure.
This came out like in the midst of World War II, or like very early into it, or just before. Well, Germany was still doing fucked up shit with the Jewish people, and Dreyfus is Jewish, and he won Best Supporting Actor, and he won Best Picture. And I guarantee you, it's because they're like, hey, guess what, Germany, you're fucked up. We're calling you on this shit.
This is it.
Maybe it's a good movie.
Another one where we get to talk about the Nazis. This is it. We get to do it again. Let's talk about the Nazis were. Jack, favorite movie where Nazis are killed?
Have you heard of a movie called Inglourious Bastards?
Sure. Matthew, different movie where Nazis are killed. Oh no. Oh no.
Police.
Matthew, quickly.
Matthew, do you not have a favorite?
Matthew, where are you on January 6th, 2021?
Spence.
I was gonna say Inglourious Bastards, so that's why I was like, all right, well.
Listen, my answer is Black Klansman.
Sure. Back to you, Matthew. Favorite movie where Nazis are killed?
They're just racist.
I guess Jojo Rabbit.
Sure.
There you go.
Spence.
Exactly.
Spence, favorite movie where Nazis are killed? You're on a dangerous choice. I shouldn't have to go.
Spence, just say Fahrenheit 11/9. Whatever that Trump documentary is.
Oh, you know what? In East Widerda, they actually do kill Nazis, I think.
Movies starring Nazis or movies with Nazis don't just immediately come to my head, so I'm sorry.
Okay,
Vice,
cool.
that's a good one where Nazis
So-
die, right?
Again, policy on this show is Nazis are bad. I really like First Class, if I had to say.
First Class is actually a good one.
It was right there.
That's a
None
good
of us
one.
took it.
Yeah, we're idiots. I
It's
was
all right.
going for low-hanging jokes.
I got took out for mine. So.
Not everything was a joke. The Nazis were. Those dorks.
Fuck those guys.
Yeah, fuck those guys. Bar, favorite movie where Nazis are killed. That is
Honestly,
number one, too.
Bar, you just set me up. We have 2 new podcasts of the podcast. Jack, hit the song.
2?
Jack, hit the song. Go, song. Make one up now.
You have not described the podcast.
Bar just did it. Just say the name. Just sing something. Jack, sing anything.
Boy!
Welcome to Killing Nazis, the podcast of the podcast where we rank every film that features Nazis that was nominated for Best Picture. I am your host, Caleb Coho, and today we are going to be talking about the life of Emile Zola. Are there actually Nazis? No, but they're pretty much Nazis anyway. We have a lot of World War II movies that we're about to hit, including, and not limited to, things that did not win Best Picture that we'll also talk about anyway. Killing Nazis, number 1 on the list. We're going to go with that. Awesome. Jack, hit the song.
I just...
No, the song was Boy. You gotta go, Boy?
Not again.
Boy!
There you go. That's the song. Every time I do Kill Nazis, you're gonna be the one that has to do it. All right, love it.
Was the other one.
Nope, we'll do that one next.
Yeah, Paul Mooney is in
Matthew,
it.
you're in
He
charge of
plays
the other
Emile
song.
Zola,
Now, if he does have to do the other song.
and he's fine. It's actually really weird as he ages through the movie.
It is kind of cool.
It is kind of cool. They did some solid work on the man, or that's what Paul Mooney normally looks like, and we're just like all lying to ourselves.
It was the movie was shot in reverse order, so Paul Mooney, he grew out the beard, and then they like shot it backwards as he like trimmed.
That's so
That's cool.
cool.
They pulled a cervico.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Paul Mooney is really great, and that's the standout performer. Yeah, Paul Mooney.
Oh, for sure, he is really.
Paul Mooney is phenomenal in this movie. Probably should have won. I did not take the time to go watch Spencer Tracy playing a Portuguese man. So I'm just gonna go ahead and assume that Mooney was better. because Paul Mooney has already delivered one incredible performance in an extra credit film, and now he's got a Best Picture winner. Probably should have won. Even though I know he technically won last year, and I did not watch it because I heard his performance, and that movie is terrible. So, typical Oscar fashion.
Mid. So yeah, we probably just put him on the. Probably just bring up
Jack, bring up the ranking.
the ranking
That's what
for.
we were
This
in
show
the
is no
right?
structure.
No,
It's just-
we don't have structure.
No.
We just do.
Things just
On
happen.
weeks-
just like in the life
on
of Emile
weeks-
Zola.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, there
On
you go.
weeks that I'm not here. We can have structure.
On weeks where we don't give a fuck about the bad movie, this show is absolute chaos, and honestly, it makes for a good show.
We're never gonna produce a good episode of this show because, like,
Oh, we will. Don't worry. When we get to like
It's gonna be a good episode.
when we get to like Gone with the Wind, it's gonna be electric. I'll tell you that.
Fuck me. I don't want to do that.
all right, where are we putting the moons?
I would put him below Claudette Colbert, above Lou Ayres.
I'm good with that.
I would put him below Western Front guy and above Wings person.
You don't even know the name of Western Front guy.
I never like am behind the winner of the fucking performance.
I vote for between It Happened One Night and All Quiet. That's 3.
Yes,
Lock it in. There we go. Number 4, baby. I'm
Congrats.
glad Paul Mooney. I'm glad Paul Mooney is now on a featured stand-up performer list, though, because he's great.
He is great.
Congrats to Paul Mooney, who joins our number. He's in the top 5, probably. I mean, maybe.
Jack, were you struggling to remember his character's name in the movie where
No,
his
I
character
wasn't.
name is the title?
No, I wasn't. Shut up.
Okay, I don't believe you.
Trying to find the
Anyway,
perfect hat
here's our new
with the
top
top of the
5.
letters. All right, so Mutiny on the
Awesome.
Bounty is still our number 1.
Yeah, it is. Charles Lawton deserves that number 1 spot, baby.
Actually, that's fair.
And Grand Hotel, keeping. God, we're
Randy
getting
wasn't
mild
even
at
here
Grand
for
Hotel.
it, and Grand
Like,
Hotel's
actually, we're
still
getting so
raining
much
down
mild at
wins.
Grand Hotel.
I mean, Grand Hotel is probably going to go pretty far in
Performance.
the performance list for a while, just because like Lionel Barrymore's like the only like great thing
I
in that
mean,
movie.
I think we're about to hit a run of like top tier performances.
Maybe next week it's going to be brutal to pick a standout performer.
38, 39, I forget what one in 40, 41,
Okay.
42, like
I mean, are you ready for us to pick a standout performer for How Green Was My Valley?
John
Welcome to the podcast of the podcast. Welcome to How Gay Is My Valley. I'm your host, Caleb Coho, and today we're going to rank How Gay Is the Life of Emile Zola. Spence, thoughts?
I mean, he was in prison. He probably sucked a dick at least once.
Wow. Matthew, thoughts on how gay Emile Zola is? Has Emile Zola sucked a dick in prison?
Yeah, possible, but
it was,
we don't-
it was
we don't-
Dreyfus, not Zola. Would you watch the movie, dickhead?
You know what, Dreyfus? Well, hey, Zola was also charged with shit. Anyway, Alex, thoughts?
So I actually have a few, and I'm glad you asked. So there's the relationship that he has with the painter, which I think is dubious. They do like the movie opens, by the way, with this man like patching holes in his like ceiling, and the other one's like, "There's no use. It is always gonna be cold in here. Everything is bad." This is like a kind of a moody French piece. Not gonna lie. And then they're just like casually hanging out in bars doing drawings of each other. And I mean, like, if you're gonna be an artist in France, just like go all the way with it, probably. The prison stuff, yeah, that. But other than that, it's like just like a lot of military stuff, which as we know is super gay. So like, you thought I was gonna go one way, went the other way. Speaking of How Gay Was My Valley, the point is, it's like potentially gay. You know what I mean? It's
Where are
like
we
the kind
gonna
of gay that
rank
you have
it?
to sneak out of a country in a birthday cake. You know what I mean?
Where are we gonna rank it on the How Gay Was My Valley ranking?
It's not gayer than Wings.
Below Great Ziegfeld?
I don't think it's gayer than Mutiny on the Bounty.
I
No.
don't think it's
no, it's not.
gayer than Ziegfeld, honestly. Like,
I
Yeah,
honestly, is it gayer than? No, I'm kidding. It is gayer than Cimarron.
yeah.
Let's start at the bottom. Who thinks it's gayer than Cavalcade? Raise your hand.
I think it's probably gayer than Cavalcade.
Who thinks it's gayer than Cimarron? Hold your hand.
I'll probably say that.
Do you think it's gayer than Ziegfeld? Keep your hand up. There it is.
One.
It is now
Okay.
below. Is now underneath Great Ziegfeld, above Cimarron on How Gay Is My Valley at number 8.
Top 10, baby.
Spencer the song.
Okay. I've moaned so much today.
All right, we did all the bits. There's no extra credit. Rankings.
There's
Oh
another
no! There's one last bit. Matthew hit
How
the
is
song.
this been such a short episode? What the fuck?
Matthew hit
Asian.
the song. Oh, you just fucked that up. Welcome to the podcast of the podcast. This is $1 Million Racist. I'm your host, Caleb.
Oh no!
We are going to be ranking every single movie that won Best Picture based on how racist it is. Today we're talking about The Life of Emile Zola, but we are retroactively ranking all 10 movies based on how racist it is.
I just want to point
You
out
have
this
to run
panel
these
is
segments by
this
me.
panel is majority
don't.
white. Why are we having this conversation?
Because it's content. Also, I can't believe that was the song Matthew chose, and I am very, very, very uncomfortable. Anyway, $1 Million Racist, Life of Emile Zola. Is it racist? They put a Jew in prison. It's pretty racist.
Jews aren't
Also, like a
no, they're not
book
race.
burning, and they call for someone's head.
I mean, the entire movie, they don't say the word Jew.
True, but Dreyfus is a Jew, isn't he? Okay. Then, well, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna bring up the list. We're gonna do this from wings up. We're just gonna rank all 10, so we're up to date on $1 Million Racist.
Hey, I can't wait for YLS on Wednesday for your nickname to be $1 Million Racist.
Cody's not watching the show.
All right.
All right. So, Wings. I don't remember that being really racist.
Can we just do what we all want to do and put Great Ziegfeld at 1?
Great Ziegfeld.
Well, Greg Ziegfeld is one. Does anyone disagree that Greg Ziegfeld is not number one?
I think that and Cimarron are close. I think we should just bump this to the top and work down.
Well, yeah, I would.
Definitely that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cimarron.
Let's put Cimarron and Great Ziegfeld in the top 2 spots, and we'll debate what's number 1 later. I think then what we could do is work our way down by ranking what's least racist. Okay, so Wings or Broadway Melody, which one was more racist?
Is there a black person in Broadway Melody? Like at
I
all?
don't think there is in either.
No.
Okay.
How racist was World War One? I feel like that content.
I would like
is
to
more
make a
racism
strong
than-
argument for Mutiny on the Bounty being high up there. as
Yeah,
well.
Mutiny Bounty should be
Yeah,
3. I
Mutiny on the
agree.
I don't think it should be that.
Mutiny should be 3. All
No.
I
If you
just
seem
seem
like
like
that.
that.
Would you like to stay in my house? And
all
live
in favor.
live as
Alex,
my
raise your
son?
hand.
You seem neat.
All right,
Alex,
raise your hand if you
hands.
think Mutiny on the Bounty should go up 3rd spot.
Oh, not.
You do not have the votes.
Do
It's just you
not
two.
have the votes.
All right, so let's do this way. Do we think Wings is more or less racist than Cimarron?
More.
No.
Less.
No, that is 4.
Oh,
Yes,
Cimarron, no,
yes.
sorry, less. I will definitely
Yeah.
prefer that.
Okay. Do we think Broadway Melody is more or less racist than Wings?
Less.
Raise your hand if you think it's more.
There's no black
Okay.
people in either. It's like
So
no
we're well, Wings also doesn't talk, so we're gonna give them the benefit of the doubt that they're like,
Yeah.
not saying dumb shit. So we're gonna All Quiet on the Western Front, I think, is more racist than the Broadway Melody.
I mean, it has Germans in it, so.
Wait.
Not only that, but like it also just had like weird shit. I would put
Did
it.
we say
at
we were
3.
giving Wings the benefit?
I
of
mean,
the
they
doubt?
do seduce French women by offering them bread and wine. That is
Yeah,
either
Broadway Melody we put Broadway Melody we put as being more racist than Wings, Jack.
Okay.
I don't know if that's true.
I put All Quiet on the Western Front at 3. Does anyone disagree?
I
I
agree.
would agree.
Sure.
All right, All Quiet on the Western Front sits at 3.
'Cause you
Grand
hate the
Hotel. Grand Hotel. Do we think it is more or less racist than All Quiet on the Western Front?
I feel like it had racist shit, but I can't remember.
I
Like, at
don't
least, like, a
remember
couple
it being
of-
I don't
racist.
remember any.
No, I think there's even like people with accents in it and stuff. It's like a pretty like chill movie.
It's not.
Yeah.
It's not.
I would say it's the least racist film we have so far.
Yes.
Yeah. I think
All right,
I
Cavalcade.
agree with that.
I put it
Oh,
above All
boy.
Quiet on the Western Front.
Yeah.
Mm,
Above for sure.
I don't even remember, like,
I
what was going on in that movie. They were on the Titanic.
I think Cavalcade
Listen,
is-
there's a whole war happening in Africa.
you know what? That's a
Oh,
fair
yeah.
point.
Yeah, that's
fair
third.
point.
That's going third.
I
Yeah.
think above All Quiet.
They were raping.
Yeah,
young King John in the movie.
I would put above All Quiet.
That's good.
Anyone disagree?
Yeah, no go.
tastefully not shown. It's the
It happened one night. I think we could say is pretty handily the least racist thing on this list.
Yeah.
Okay.
Less racist than Grand Hotel.
Yes, I would say less racist because there's no accents. Mutiny on the Bounty. I would. Here's where you guys are gonna put it. I know those two are gonna say right now. It can't go above Cimarron. So
I wouldn't put
do
it
we
above
think?
I wouldn't put it above Cimarron. I would put it probably above All Quiet.
I agree.
Do we think? Hold on. Okay, so do we think Mutiny on the Bounty is more or less racist than Cavalcade? Raise your hands. Or think it's more racist than Cavalcade? Raise your hands. Do you think it's more racist than All Quiet on the Western Front? Raise your hand.
I'm on the fence on whether it's more racist than Cavalcade. I definitely think it's more racist than All Quiet on the Western Front.
You don't have the votes anyway. Do you think it's more or less racist than the Broadway Melody? Raise your hand.
Just
more racist.
You're all lying to yourselves at this point.
no, here, Alex, you have to raise your hand if you still think it's more racist than Robert Melody.
I definitely do.
Do we think it is more racist than Wings? Raise your hand. Do we think it is more racist than Grand Hotel? Okay, that's
so
all right. It goes above Wings on the
Jack,
racist.
are you even listening? How is this less racist than the Broadway Melody?
All right, and last but not least, we have The Life of Emile Zola. Do we think it is more racist than It Happened One Night? Raise your hand.
Probably, yeah.
I think by default.
Do we think it is more racist than Grand Hotel? Raise your hands. Do we think it is more racist than Wings? Raise your hand. Do you think it is more racist than Mutiny on the Bounty? Raise your hand. That's 3. Do you think it is more racist than the Broadway Melody? Raise your hand. That's 3. Do you think it is more racist than All Quiet on the Western Front? Raise your hand. All right, then that is as stands.
Emile Zola
Then there it is. As it stands, that is the first ever iteration of $1 Million Racist. We'll be coming back to $1 Million Racist every week. Thank you so much for joining us on this week's episode. Matthew, hit the song.
Asian.
I love that it's a Clint Eastwood reference, and that's the song for $1 Million Racist.
It's such an in joke that no one else is gonna get.
I fucking love it. Okay, anyway, back to you, Alex.
You got to run these segments by me, fam. I just
Do I have to? I don't know.
It'd be nice because I didn't know we were doing that. Y'all are fooling yourselves. Y'all are fooling yourselves on this Mutiny on the Bounty bullshit. That movie's so weirdly racist. I'm gonna bring this up every single week. How racist that movie is. If I have to rewatch it every single week, that's exactly what I'm gonna do. And you know what? The rating's gonna go down. We didn't do any extra credit this week. I don't think. Did anybody do any extra credit?
Anyone watch like A Star Is Born or anything? No.
I wish.
Oh, I've seen that movie before, so I guess I could talk about it.
Sure. Let's do that.
Yeah.
Go ahead, to A Star Is Born.
To the clip.
Jack at the clip.
Extra credit.
Yeah, no, I watched this for the first time last year in September, and I just found it to be a really delightful film. It's like it gives the basis for like the classic like A Star Is Born premise, where like someone who's in the industry finds someone who's not, and then they become famous. And Janet Gaynor, she's just incredible. She's like very expressive and just super charming. Like we've seen her in some of the older winners and like nominees, and so she's great. She's a delight. And Frederick March is also pretty solid. I think Janet Gaynor is definitely like the standout though. Like because of her performance, it makes Frederick March kind of like look less. His performance isn't as good because of that. But yeah, it's interesting that this one takes place in the movie industry as well. But it's a good movie. Mm-hmm.
All right, where do you want to rank it on extra credit?
Number 1. Do it, Matthew. No one can stop you.
Would put it above Cleopatra.
Below the Barons of Wimpole Street.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cleopatra.
Then it is now number 14, I believe.
Saturn.
This list is an absolute cluster, and I love it. I love that the extra credit list is just going to be the most like disgusting 5,000.
We're gonna have like
movie
1,000
list.
movies on that list. At the
It's gonna be like a 5,000 movie ranking. It's gonna be like the most impressive thing in the history of internet content creating culture.
You watch all of these? Well, technically, no.
Technically, no. Like some of us watch most of these.
I've seen like 90% of the list.
I've seen one.
I've seen a lot of them.
Great. Glad we did that. Anyway, thanks for coming to this week's
We
episode of
still have to
Picture
rank
This.
Emile Zola.
Yeah, we haven't given our ratings.
Fine. What is everyone's average? You know what? We're just gonna skip that. What is the average rating for? Was everyone like the average?
We haven't
I want
actually
everyone-
argued about if this movie's good or not because Jack fucking likes it because he's lame and
I
stupid.
know we're gonna.
Yeah, we haven't
we'll-
actually talked about our opinions on the movie, I don't think.
Baby, we'll get there. I want to know the average rating of the life of Emile Zola.
This episode's a
Fine.
cluster.
The average rating is 3 out of 5. You dumb.
That's-
Okay, that
that's
makes it
too damn
slightly
high.
above mid in the aggregate. So, who had it highest ranked? Why was it Jack? Probably.
It was me because this movie I had it 4 stars.
Yeah.
While the first act drags, it does. The rest of the movie is thrilling. From the moment Dreyfus is accused of treason and is sent to Devil's Island, it becomes a really interesting legal like courtroom drama. It's got some great performances, especially by Paul Mooney. And I honestly just had a really good time with it. As soon as it left the first act, I thought it was a great film. But the first
Jack, that first act talking about is a fucking hour long. Half the movie you're saying is not interesting. Why is it a 4?
I said the first act isn't interesting or isn't as great as it. The first act is what drags this movie down because it's dull. It's every other 1930s Best Picture winner, war movie that we've seen so far. But as soon as it gets to where he's arrested and Emile Zola trying to get the case reopened, it's like I said, it's thrilling. It's got great performances from everyone involved, especially Mooney and especially the judge, who is just frustratingly evil in it. He's great, but like I don't understand why the first act weighs it down so much for everyone else. Because I had a great time with everything else in the movie that wasn't the first act, which was just fine. The rest of the movie is great.
Can I go next?
Sure. Adelaide, what did you give?
I give it a 2.5 because this movie and this podcast have the same problem. No context. You jump into the movie and it's just, they expect you to know all these different things. And by the time that you sort of understand, the movie's already gone by so fast. I don't understand where Jack's coming from. Where he's like, oh yeah, the first act until he doesn't get sent to prison for like an hour. And he's like, what, an hour 40? Like that's over half the movie that is just sitting there, plotting, setting up Emile Zola, who's not even the most interesting character in the film. Paul Mooney, yeah, he gives a good performance. But at what cost? Because most of the film is just him like, I'm gonna write, I'm gonna get drunk, I'm gonna be fucking German. Like no one cares. No one fucking cares. And then, yes, the court stuff is actually really good, but that's why it's a 2.5, not like a 1.5.
Which leads me to my problem with the movie. Jack, what did I give this movie? 3. The problem is that there is no context. And part of that is because this stuff would have been considered vaguely recent current events. This is stuff that people would have remembered when the movie was being made. So, like, they didn't really go through all the trouble of, like, explaining. Which is a real problem when you're watching a movie later, like we did, and we had to Google everything. And by we, I mean me. And I said I Googled it. I did like the cursory Google where you're like, oh, like the first paragraph of Wikipedia, and you're like, oh, okay, sure. I hope that ends up good. And then yeah, the performance, like 2 of them were fine. Honestly, when the guy gets arrested, you're like, is he gonna be okay? And it's also like only the second time you've ever seen that guy. So like it doesn't really super resonate the best, I guess. 3 stars, slightly above mid. And if it were like a different actor in the lead, this would be like completely mid. We go now to Coho.
Cool. I gave it 2.5 out of 5. I think this movie is fine. I think that the entire movie is just boring, uninteresting, nothing of value. No, like everyone else said, the lack of context really hurts it. I have no idea what any of this means or what's going on, and the movie does an awful job of trying to explain it. I think that Paul Mooney's performance is literally the only thing really holding this movie up. I don't even think the court stuff is even that well done either. I just think on the whole, the movie's fine, wholly uninteresting, and the only thing to watch this for would be Paul Mooney's performance, which didn't even win an Oscar. So at that point, the only reason we're watching this is because they gave it the Best Picture Oscar, and otherwise I would think this movie should be lost to time. It is worthless.
And yeah, Matthew.
Yeah. No, I think this movie is fine. I think it really does drag, especially during that first act. But I think Paul Mooney is really good. The courtroom stuff I enjoy, and I really think that the 6-minute long speech that he gives, I thought that was really good. But Emile Zola is also just kind of a boring person. I feel like, or at least the way that they portray him in this movie. So
Cool. Average rating 3 stars out of 5. So Jack, extra star Pinchuck, why don't you go ahead and pull up that sweet ranking, and we can just get this over with and slot it right behind Grand Hotel where it rightfully belongs. Anybody else have any other opinions?
I would put it above Grand Hotel, but I'm fine with keeping it below.
I would vote below Grand Hotel in front.
I would too.
All right.
all right. Cool.
Dope. It Happened One Night, still the best movie we've seen. Mutiny on the Bounty, racist, but probably fine. All Quiet on the Western Front, Grand Hotel, and now The Life of Emile Zola takes the 5 spot.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, look at
you,
that.
Emile
It's my
Zola.
exact rankings. I'm doing really well.
Yeah, it's almost like you're educated or something. Pro filmmaker, probably. All right, so that's it.
Next week is dude, are we really gonna leave this at a half hour, or are we just gonna turn this into another half-hour hangout podcast?
We can
to
talk
make it
about
an
Bar
hour?
again. That was fun. We all had a good time with that.
Do we?
Okay, fine. Let's talk about another one of our esteemed listeners. Let's talk about Thomas Scully. Now, I know we all love Scully to varying degrees, and I know he loves us to varying degrees. Some would say hate, but you can't. I mean, it doesn't. So we're gonna just talk about some of our. I mean, it was Bar's birthday, so we're gonna talk about actually like the opposite. We're gonna do our least favorite Scully memories. Does anybody have like?
I'm not touching that with a 20-foot pole.
What's the worst thing about Scully? We're just gonna go around. You don't have to participate. Honestly, it would be weird if you did. Him being your third husband.
Yeah, basically.
You know,
arguably second. Arguably second, but yes.
Sure. Yeah, you probably shouldn't participate in this. But like, do y'all remember when we made like the Kingsman hot rankings and all of the or some of us had Scully like very close to last and he got super offended. And
You
we were
guys
all
are
like,
fucking stupid for that, by the way.
Why?
Like fucking dumb.
we were like, why? Can you imagine? Can you imagine like pillow talk with Scully? It's so factual.
This is what our film podcast episode.
This is the
about
day
what-
where the door to the Kingsman closed because no one wants to join.
Yeah. Why the fuck is this a thing? You know what? Let's talk about the movies that we're gonna be watching coming up because you
But
can't
Koho,
take
nobody-
away Clues next week.
Ko doesn't care that he's like near the bottom for a few of us as well.
I don't
Honestly,
care about
Koho's-
that. What I'm talking
Koho's
about.
gone up for me. Koho has definitely gone up as I've as time has gone on. Honestly, but like I'd rather have you, Bar. Like I'd rather have Bar.
Okay, so I want to talk about the Oscars coming up for next week, just to give like opinions of what we're going into. Next week we got another Capra banger. His third and final best director win. His second and final best picture win. So this is the last time Capra's are going to be winning Oscars, which I think we are going to learn very quickly is utter bullshit. But like, I've already seen The Adventures of Robin Hood. and I'm probably gonna watch Boys Town just to see the other Spencer Tracy Oscar win because I didn't watch the first one. Does anyone have anything else they're gonna watch? Jezebel won Best Actress and Best Supporting Actress.
Yeah, maybe. I like Betty Davis, so
Walter Brennan winning Best Supporting Actor again, first performance in the movie Kentucky.
I have no opinions.
I mean, maybe Pygmalion.
I'm actually going to look at this real quick because I think I don't know if this is the first year in which the Oscar for Best Original Score. No, we've had it a couple times, but this is the first. No, this is it. Okay, this is the first year where they split Best Original Score into 2 Oscar categories, Best Original Score and Best Scoring. And this is the first year where individuals were nominated. So we have The Adventures of Robin Hood winning Original Score for Eric Wolfgang Korngold, and the GOAT, Alfred Newman, being the first person to win the Best Scoring Oscar for Alexander's Ragtime Band. So that's pretty cool.
nice.
If you don't know who Alfred Newman is, the man is literally synonymous with the Best Original Score Oscar. I'm going to look at this real quick while I scroll down really fast. I believe, he was nominated 41 times in the category Best Original Score, which is the second most in nominations, and he won 9, which is the most Oscars won in the category. The most nominated, Jack, I'm going to give you one guess, Jack.
John Williams.
John Williams has been nominated for 47 Academy Awards in the category of Best Original Score. Yes.
Also related to Randy Newman.
Yes, he is the uncle of Randy Newman and the father of Thomas Newman.
Wow.
Yeah.
I did not know this.
The Newman family, very talented composing dynasty.
Interesting.
Fun fact about Thomas Newman: he is tied with Alex North, the late Alex North, for the most nominations without an Oscar win at 14.
Oh.
Both have been nominated for 14 Oscars and never have. Alex North will never win, obviously, but Thomas Newman still. Do we think Thomas Newman is ever going to win an Oscar?
He should have won in 2003.
He should have. Yes, he should have.
No.
Yes, he should have.
Thomas Newman should have 4 Academy Awards based off his nominations, one of which being in the year 2012.
Thomas Newman should have won in 1994 and maybe 2019. No.
Not 2019. Did not deserve it in 2019. He deserved it in 2012.
I think
absolutely.
2019 great score though, but
2002 and
2002 definitely not, because John Williams scored for Catch Me If You Can's better. And that was nominated.
Close,
but
I take the Road to Perdition score just slightly.
I mean, the next year he should have won for Finding Nemo over Return of the King. It's not a contest.
Mhm.
And his next nomination, where I look at it and go, yeah, you should have won, is in 2012, where he should have won for Skyfall over Michael Dana for Life of Pi.
Yes.
Oh.
So he should have won he should have won those 2 for sure.
1994 and 2012, absolutely.
I mean, who won in 94? Bitch, no! Bitch, no! He did not deserve to win in 94. Hans Zimmer's Lion King score is one of the greatest scores to ever be made. You want to take away... Jack, you want to take away Hans Zimmer's only Oscar win?
I forgot.
First of 2. I forgot he won last year for Dude, but guess what? They didn't present it at the Oscars because it's bullshit.
Anyway, next week we've got You Can't Take It With You. Then it's Gone with the Wind, which that episode's going to be a hell of a time.
Here's the real talk. I think we talked about it. I think we are going to record us group watching the 4-hour Gone with the Wind watch.
Yeah.
And honestly, we might, depending on how good it is, we might release it. Or we might chop it up into a highlight reel and release it, because that's fucking 4 hours that no one's going to watch. But like, the Gone with the and if we do, we'll release it later in the week after the episode we've done. Like, I'm not going to release I don't want to release our like highlight reels before the episode.
Yeah.
Predictions on Gone with the Wind. Who thinks they're going to what do you think your rating is going to be?
Jackson will love it.
I do
he loves
really like that movie. I've seen it already once, and I did enjoy it quite a bit. I thought it was very well made. Honestly, though, I think Spence is going to fucking hate it because it's 4 hours long, and Spence hates anything above an hour and a half. Coho, Coho, I think Coho will give it a respectable 3.5 stars, and Alex will be like 2 stars.
2 stars. Yeah, we're gonna probably Gone with the Wind is gonna be our first fist fight of an episode.
I'm sure it's gonna be a weirdly divisive episode. Because then what else
But hey.
after that's Rebecca?
Rebecca.
Oh, fuck. So, fun fact about Rebecca: I've seen half of it on a VHS tape through 2 moves. That VHS has stayed in the player and has not moved forward or backwards. It's just stuck in the middle.
Huh.
So-
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. No, I was gonna say Rebecca kicks off what is gonna be the best decade we have until the 70s, because the 40s are a banger decade with like 2 exceptions, probably.
Great. Can't wait to see it. So tune in to those. I said I wasn't going to be here this week, last week. But the truth is, I won't be here next week. I'm saying that this week. So probably Matthew will host. So look forward to that. Yeah. Thanks for coming to Picture This. Always remember, Beauty and the Bounty is actually really racist, and these fools
I do wish we could chat longer, but I'm having an old friend for dinner. Bye.
I'm just a little bit caught in the middle.